Happy Monday morning. And it is one of the biggest Monday mornings in a long time. Some people might argue, no, it's just a normal Monday morning. Well, they're wrong. It's December 1st. That's a big deal. But it is also the first day of one of the biggest stories in NASCAR history. Am I exaggerating? If I am exaggerating, respond right here. Maybe the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. was the biggest day in the history of NASCAR. I was born in 1963. I don't remember the other NASCAR. Well, it wasn't a lawsuit. I think the other drivers tried to go on strike. They all said, we're not going to race at Talladega. And NASCAR said, fine, we'll have the Busch Grand National Series run. And they did. And it was a failed attempt for NASCAR and the drivers to come together. So here we are on December 1st. It's cold in Charlotte, North Carolina. Denny Hamlin walked in to the courtroom alongside the great Michael Jordan wearing a big heavy coat. There's a big media contingent there. There's a lot of sadness in the air because, let's put it this way. When we do Herman Schrader, for almost 1 year, my best friend in life, my other brother Schrader would say, Herman, it's not our deal. It's not our issue. And I'm like, Schrader, how do we ignore it? So here we are on December 1st. And this time, it's real. And nobody can ignore it. I think of Dave Moody today. I think of Larry McReynolds. Do they act like it's not happening? Can they lie to themselves? I mean this in a loving, caring way. They are the NASCAR station. MRN is kind of Sirius NASCAR Channel 90. MRN Radio. Today's story on this Monday is it's only so many days from the Daytona 500. Can you act like today's a normal day? Can you act? It's none of our business. While it's worldwide and a media contingent is huddled around downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. Hell, this is world news. How do you act like NASCAR is not involved for the fight of their life? I bet if they lose the son of a bitch, it'll be news. Today is our last Herman Schrader of this December, and then we'll start back up. And I thought of my dear friend Kenny Schrader, who I love dearly, do anything for. I think how Kenny's a little different than I am. He was born in the 50s. I was born in the 60s. Schrader's strategy is to do minimal. He thinks it's funny that I like social media. However, Schrader made his first video when he went to Volusia. He finally made a video. And I said, well, looky there. Kind of reminds me of, my brother Rusty Wallace and Schrader, both born in the 50s. They think us social media people were just dumb. One of these days, I might sit them down and show them my bank account. They would all over themselves if they knew how much money I was making with great sponsors and everything being monetized and Charlie Marlowe working the YouTube channel. This is life. Things change. Who would have ever thought we'd have a cell phone one day? Who would have ever thought we had social media? And in the end, who would ever thought that NASCAR, who has never been in this position in their life, is now fighting for their life? I truly believe that in my heart of all hearts. I have followed this since the beginning. And there was a time that I said, NASCAR is going to win this. Remember that back in the heat of the summer? I said NASCAR's going to win this. They got friends in high places. Well, listen, I'll be honest with y'all. I know a lot of people, and I don't call them. No, I don't call nobody. And I say that humbly. I say that with respect. They all call me. And they all give me numbers. I feel fine saying this. It's going to come out in court. Yesterday I was called and I was told that Michael Jordan's already spent $40 million on this lawsuit. It's going to be big one way or the other, because if NASCAR loses, NASCAR won't be the same. I think about Jim France, Lessa, Kennedy France, Ben Kennedy, the sport that their grandpa, great-grandpa, Big Bill France, then Bill France Jr., then Mike Helton. Is this a deal where, is this the day the music stops? Kind of like the song? You know, when the Big Bopper and some of the great music artists got killed in that plane wreck, and they said that's the day the music stopped. You know, when we lost Dale Sr., that's the day we thought racing stopped. It did, but it went on to 2006, and I've reminded you all several times, 2006 is when the music stopped. That's the year that NASCAR stopped its rise. Why 2006? Respond right here. What was significant? I knew 2008 they had a homing crisis where the banks had to take back the loans, and that was the start of a lot of bad. But why was it 2006? Why was that the end? Was that when we started the next-gen car with the wing? That was a failed attempt. It didn't look good, didn't race good. But still, everybody's like, that car didn't work. Nobody, there was not a mob at that time like there is now. So respond right here. Can you ignore this lawsuit and act like there's nothing wrong with NASCAR? Because I know some people that are going to try to do that. They work for NASCAR. God, what a life to live. Act like nothing's going on while Rome is burning. All right, everybody, respond right here. I can see the headlines now. Are you going to ignore this NASCAR story like nothing's wrong? Have a great December 1st.